What is up, guys? It's your boy GRC. We're coming at you live every single day at 11 a.m. Eastern. Me, my co-host Sam Stolt. We talk about DeFi. We talk about making and earning money with decentralized finance. The details. We like to run into the details. We like to go down the rabbit holes. We like a little bit of risk on talk. And today we have a special guest. Two special guests, Pepe and Wolverine. They are putting on a 10,000 Pulse Bitcoin giveaway. Now, I don't know what Pulse Bitcoin is at right now, but that's a lot of money. So we're going to stick around to the end for the details there, and I'm going to pop up the tweet and show everyone. But we are also going to be talking about, for all the guys in my show that want to learn about something today, ASICs, PLSD, PLSB. Pepe wants to show, Pepe's trying to turn Sam. Come on, let's be honest. Sam doesn't turn from much. But Pepe really feels like this is disruptive technology. And he says it all the time, and I'm going to hear it out. Hey, come on. You know I'm open for the conversation, but it is a conversation to be had. I want to talk about innovation. What is PLSD and the ASICs and this whole system doing different? What is something that they're bringing to the table potentially that other things just don't have or didn't have at the time when they were launched? That's the kind of stuff that I like to learn about. That's kind of so we're going to get into all this stuff. And with the little macro take, we got Pep and Gunther. They've been in the game for a while. I'm sure they have Ethereum too, guys, I bet. So this is just going to be fun. There's 78 here live right now. We just started 22. Ooh, guys, what is going on? How is everyone doing? Great to see everyone. I'm excited. And for everyone in here, this is not financial advice. And for real, this is super risk on volatility right now. You guys know what's going on in the world. How dare you? We're going to try not to make forward-looking statements about price, of course. But at this point in time, like everything's down pretty heavily. Let's just all just be at an even and say this is about technology moving forward, getting in early, which is something with every asset that's important. We all know that. Let's talk. Let's just talk.
You already know what time it is. Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning. Waiting on phone. Crypto in the morning. 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 Waiting on phone. Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning. Smoking a blunt on my way to the gym. 11 a.m. and I'm already tuned in. Got me some hacks and I'm making a stake. Got me some heads on, I'm making it rain. Pay me some maxi and that just in case. Jim Reddit sent me to show you the way. DeFi Pro, yeah. Crypto in the morning. 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 Crypto in the morning.
Yo. I'm looking forward to this conversation. We've got Wolverine and Pepe. So we're going to understand, right? Because we've talked about it a couple of times, but they're kind of complex. There's a lot of pieces moving around. PLSD, PLSB, ASIC, how this is all like interplaying. And then we're going to get into some really cool innovations and stuff that is coming out. And then how would you like to win $25,000? Right? How would you like to
give away shit? We always give away money. GRC is the place where everyone wants to come away and give away money because it's a safe place to do it. Why? Because I don't really accept money. So people feel comfortable doing some of when they are giving stuff away, coming here. But sometimes when you have a guy who's like, you know, like let's say it's more token or something, and like he goes over there, it's like there's conflict of interest, right? That's why I want to be the most non-biased, open-minded platform, so people feel comfortable coming here, whether it's giving away money or just having a chat about some sensitive topics. It's important. I'm not going to bow down to like freaking out and being a crazy person just because everyone's crazy on Twitter. It's fine. But we got special guests. We got Pepe. We got Wolverine. I want to see biceps in the chat.
What's up, fellas? Good morning. Hey, good to see
What
you.
the heck is going on,
It
guys?
takes the
Oh,
right
the
balance,
kitty.
man, to have a cat and be tender and then be an elf.
I almost
Kitties.
just took my shirt there.
Dude, Pulse Stage kitties would be lit. Anyway. Let me start real quick. Can you two introduce yourself? It's been a while, guys. So let's just clear slate it, playback value. Let's go first with Pepe because he was the last one on the show. So Pepe, if you could run through what's up, how you doing? Great to see you back. How's everything been since the last time you were on the show?
Yeah. So the last time I was on your esteemed show, it was the day of price discovery for Pulse Bitcoin. And we waited and we couldn't get the number. And I told Sam, I said, be ready for about $1. It's probably going to come out at $1. Came out at $30, then flipped right down to $1. And now it's like $2.50, $2.60. So the community is just embracing the green candles. All three assets are up dramatically since the last time we spoke. There's no slowing down. It's disruptive innovation, and we'll talk about it.
Well, that was beautiful. Okay, we'll go right to Wolverine. Wow. That was amazing. Wolverine, it's been a minute. We clashed maybe 6 or 8 months ago now. My God, how time flies. And it was all fun and games behind the scenes, more or less. Like, come on, we're all investing at the end of the day. But now we're back. How have you been? And wow, look at everything that's occurred since. Talk about your experience and introduce yourself a little bit, just because there's probably a couple guys that haven't even right new to the mix.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, thanks for having us on. I'm Wolverine. You can find me on Twitter. Please follow me, Wolverine_2241.
I'll drop that in the chat.
Oh yeah, thank you. But yeah, man, Pulse Bitcoin. This has been a crazy bear market, man. I'm just trying to survive bear market blues. Try to stay positive. Don't get, because it's easy when you hold investments in a bear market. It's really easy to lose hope. You see everything like crumbling around you. You see crypto like crashing. You see like FTX, Voyager, BlockFi, Celsius, all of those things just failing. And yet people like us, we're in like true DeFi, true crypto. And even our assets are like getting like, some of them are just getting, the price is just horrible, horrible price performance. But then you have like this whole brand new ecosystem of Pulse Doge, ASIC, Pulse Bitcoin, created by HexInfo. I would also recommend following HexInfo on Twitter. And man,
HexInfo, he's a whiz, man. That guy, impressive stuff.
Yeah, he's smart. He's really, really smart. And yeah, man, I love what he's produced. But yeah.
Do you want to get into that a little bit? Because there's probably going to be a bunch of people in the chat who don't know about the interplay between the different tokens, like how do they work and that kind of thing, to wrap it in to give people context.
Yeah, sure. So there's 3 assets in this ecosystem. I'll try to give you the dumbed down version, keep it really, really simple.
We'll go dumbed down version and then we'll take it to, but we do need the dumbed down version first, for sure.
Yeah, and then we can flesh out the details. So Pulse Dogecoin is the meme token in this ecosystem. ASIC token is the utility token that's used to mine the store value token, which is Pulse Bitcoin. So Pulse Bitcoin is Bitcoin on Ethereum, except it's better in every way that possibly matters. Pulse Dogecoin is better than Dogecoin, except it's on Ethereum. And if you think about the names, what's cool is that even now, right, we don't have Pulse Chain launched, but even now they currently exist and are trading in real markets on Ethereum. And so if you think about the names, like Pulse Dogecoin is nothing more than Dogecoin with a pulse, or Pulse Bitcoin is Bitcoin with a pulse. Or, so essentially the branding is kind of cool because, basically this ecosystem has given those assets like life and has made them way better in all the ways that actually matter.
I'm starting to agree with that statement. Like, as a, you have to think about these things. He knows all this stuff. So he's just speaking on his experience. It takes me a while, Sam. Like, before I really start liking something, I just have to keep digging. I'm getting to that point. There's some positive externalities here where I see negative externalities in other spaces, and I want to open that up more. Pep, and Sam, you got anything to add? Or do you want to go with the conversation to help out the viewers and kind of move forward?
Well, let's dive into Pep. Why don't you dive into these each a little bit deeper? We'll touch on so it's 3 tokens, right? Pulse Doge. So what do you do with that? How does that work? Can you do anything with it at this point? And then the translation of
We'll start with the meme. The meme would be the
Right.
Pulse
Well,
Doge.
let's start higher level. Let's go 50,000 feet up and say, why should you believe Wolverine and Pepe that they've got a asset group, a synergistic multi-token ROI yield mining ecosystem? Why is that something that I should consider? Because frankly, I've heard the same shit from that rat Fink Mashinsky. I heard the same thing from SBF. I hear the same thing from every
Terra Luna.
Terra Luna, you name it.
That was a perfect example. That was a baloney.
And so what I would say is what it comes down to for me and why I'm in this ecosystem is Gunther refers to it as trust no one. I refer to it as hear their words, but watch their actions. What I mean is this: a couple of weeks after Terra Luna went down, that rat Fink Mashinsky did a stream where he said, hey, the Bitcoin maxis are responsible for 30% of the Bitcoin being lost forever. Store your Bitcoin with me. It's safer. And so I heard those words and I said, well, wait a minute. It sounds as if that guy's got a revenue downfall. There's a reason why he's asking for something that obviously makes no sense. Self-custody is where it's at, yet he's saying do the exact opposite. Why would he say that? The why is, well, he's probably running a freaking Ponzi where he's
hold on. Okay, hold on one second. First of all, I want you to not forget what you're saying because it's beautiful, everything you're saying, and I want to highlight his screen real quick, solo layout.
There we go. Awesome.
That's actually pretty cool.
Hey, this was made by War Ants.
I would 100% wear that.
A bomber jacket.
100%. I mean, there's 100% chance that I would rock that every
So
single day.
why would the rat Fink Mashinsky say to do something that intuitively we know isn't true? Well, he's probably running either a situation where he's running short on cash. He's either illiquid or insolvent. I don't know which one it is, but he likely is trying to fill a hole and he's doing it with new investors. And I sit there and say, well, that sounds like a Ponzi to me. So you have to separate the words from the actions. What's going on in this ecosystem? The whales, the largest wallet holders, are saying, hey, you know what you do? You buy Pulse Doge, that's a better meme token. You buy ASIC, you put ASIC into the salt mines. Every 30 days, you pull the ASIC out along with your Pulse Bitcoin reward, and you hoard the Pulse Bitcoin and you re-inject the ASIC into the mines. Not only do those words resonate, but they also are emblematic of their actions. These whales are, in fact, doing what they say, unlike dirty whales, which tell you one thing in public, buy, and behind closed doors, they're jumping on your head. And
Yes.
so
they won't admit it. And they won't admit it and just be a man sometimes. You don't always have to say shit, but like it's important to just admit shit. Like at this point in the game, it's like there is technology. It's undeniable some of the things that we're seeing going on here. And I want to open that whales conversation up, Sam. I want to open up the whales in an asset, right? Is that important? Yeah, it's really important. It's something that I think about all flipping day long. Because, Sam, we know if you don't get an asset early, you can't be a whale. I don't care what anyone says. I don't care what anyone says, period. End of story. You cannot be a whale in an asset. Why don't I solo my face real quick? Because I think this is 100% true, but I'm not 100% sure. You cannot be a whale in an asset if you don't get in early. Whoopsie poo-poo. I broke it to you. It's just the truth. We all know it. It's every asset in existence. I don't think Sam could be a Tesla whale if he tried every day for the rest of his life, just because the pool size is more than a man can muster with all the social media networking and everything you could possibly imagine. So I think it's important to note that as we go forward. I want to open up that whales conversation, because benevolent whales really, and it's just the truth. If there's 5 or 6 dudes that have a load of money, Sam, let's say me and you, Sam, me, you, Bullish, and one other guy have $100 million, maybe $5 million in an asset each, a new asset, right? And we are already very well off with other assets that, frankly, we don't even like anymore. Frankly, I have assets that I could sell off for the rest of life that I don't even like anymore in this scenario. A lot of the times, if there's real innovation and real technology and something that they really feel, they'll hold that shit for a long time. Is this the kitty party?
Look at Mike's pussy on screen. I didn't know we could bring pussy on screen today, but
an alternate form.
I try to keep no, but seriously, let's talk about the whales, the big guys in these assets. I think it's important to open up, and this isn't an attack or anything, but let's talk about it. There's people that have a lot of money in this Pulse Bitcoin stuff, and I think 2 of them are sitting right under me, to be honest. And you want to see this work out probably more than anyone else, right? I mean, is that fair?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Look, but the difference is everything is on chain, and the advice that we give is advice that we take, and it's opinion, really, not financial advice. But it's what is the community doing? That's vastly greater of importance than the pumpamentals. But there are 4 things. It comes down to what's the community doing? Are they buying, holding, staking, mining, and then onboarding? Are they doing those things? Are the breadcrumbers in alignment with the whales? Is the community all pulling on the same end of the rope? Truly, that makes the biggest difference, because if you're in early and you're swimming with the whales, then you'll be in the best possible position.
Hey, just sorry to interject. What is can you paste the link for this live stream in the private chat?
Yes,
There's
sir,
a few users that can't find it, so I just want to tweet it out.
Oh my gosh, you know why they can't find it? It's because I tagged on that tweet, I literally put our old one.
Yeah.
Here, I'm tagging it right now, and I'm dropping
a huge audience. So you guys should all retweet it out.
Yeah, we'll retweet that out, guys. We'll do a retweet storm right now. We'll do it right here, right now. I'm doing it now. We're popping. And smash those likes. Let's run those likes up, or Sam's going to have to come over to your house and get busy. And I'm not talking about sexy time. I'm talking about beat your ass. All right? He's going to come to your house and beat you so we can get them likes up. Run them likes up. Run them up, guys. I just dropped the YouTube link in the private, and we're going to go Twitter storm, guys. Twitter storm. Well, it's not really a Twitter storm, but I'm going to drop this link down below, the YouTube link below. Guys, make sure you smash the like. Keep going. And we have one other tweet. Didn't you have a tweet that you wanted to pull up, Wolverine, about the giveaway and like something? I can't remember exactly what it was about, but I have it right here, and I can pull it up. Do you want to talk about it for a sec?
Yes, sir. Yeah, pull it up.
Yeah, I got it right here. Hold on. Share. Sorry. Here we go.
Do you want to, Wolverine, before he pulls this up, do you want to give us a preview of what this is in terms of the idea or the essence you're trying to get through doing a giveaway?
Yeah. And
explain to us what you're trying to do. It's all right to want to work and get stuff done. I want to know what you're trying to do. What's your goal? What's your mission? Where are you pointing at here?
Yeah, great question. And maybe we could start with the main original tweet and kind of flesh that out in detail, and then we'll go to the other tweet. So my main objective, man, it's hard to give up 10,000 Pulse Bitcoin from your own personal wallet, especially in the midst of a bear market. The current US dollar value of that is 25,500, but this is brand new asset. So who knows how high that could go, right? So for example, if Pulse Bitcoin's trading at like $10, this giveaway of 10,000 Pulse Bitcoin to one person is $100,000. So that's pretty epic, I think, especially during now this nasty bear market. But yeah, mainly with this contest, it's not really, sure, there are some altruistic like elements of it, right? Because somebody's actually getting money from my own personal wallet, money that I was not given. I actually had to buy these assets or mine them into existence with my own money. But there's also another element of just really wanting people to work hard to promote these assets in this ecosystem. And sometimes, money is a very powerful motivating factor, and sometimes people just need a little bit of a push. Because I noticed one thing in this whole ecosystem, we haven't really done a good job. I don't think if I just objectively looking at it and just some constructive criticism, we haven't really done a good job of onboarding new users into this ecosystem. That is a major failure point, I think.
How do you think about that? Like, how do you come to the conclusion of that? What you're thinking behind that to say, like, hey, people in general in the community are not onboarding enough?
They're doing a great job. It's just that we're not really breaking free from like Hex or Hedron like ecosystem or Pulse Chain ecosystem. And you could sort of just tell by looking at the number of holders. If you go on Etherscan and you look at Pulse Dogecoin, obviously ASIC and Pulse Bitcoin are brand new assets. And ASICs, it's really hard you can't really go by holders, because when you use ASIC tokens to mine Pulse Bitcoin, they are temporarily burned out of existence because they're sent to a null address. And then after 30 days, when you run the end miner function, the ASIC tokens are minted back into existence. So most users are not actually holding ASIC tokens liquid in their wallet. And if they are, a lot of times they're sort of just waiting for a few miners to end so they could consolidate and start like one miner versus having to run like 5 or 7 or 8 miners. But yeah, I look at just the different metrics like holders. Are we bringing in new people? We have done a good job of bringing in some old Bitcoin miners and Bitcoin buyers like in the early days. And now they are actually mining Pulse Bitcoin, or there's one guy that mentioned he swapped 2 Bitcoin a day or 2 ago and used that money to buy ASICs. So I thought that was kind of cool.
That's and on the front, because we're going to get into the giveaway in a minute here, but on the front of understanding the ecosystem. So you have an ASIC token and you can stake this token. When that is staked, it is burnt. And then when you remint it, you remint 98% of what you staked. Is that understanding correct?
You're actually reminting. I think you got it basically right. You're reminting. We don't call it staking, we call it mining, but yeah, it's essentially they get burned up. And because you're not getting like usually with like staking tokens, for example, like Hex, when you stake Hex, you get more Hex. When you stake ASIC, you don't get more ASIC. You get a brand new token called Pulse Bitcoin. But yeah, you essentially have it correct. You're burning up the token in 30-day intervals. At the end, when you end the miner, you get your Pulse Bitcoin reward that shows back up in your wallet, and you get all of your ASICs minus a small fee, but it's a lot less than what you mentioned. It's 1/4 of 1%. So
okay.
0.025%, I guess. Yeah, 1/4 of 1%. So really, really small.
And what's the or Pepe, or doesn't matter. What's the yield that people are getting, or like, can you talk about that? I know there's the halvening with the PLSB and whatnot. So somebody's effectively trading a 1/4 of 1% for a yield of XYZ. Can you talk about how that's calculated and what it is? Pepe or Wolverine, doesn't matter.
Yeah. So it's the reward is 7.5%
per annum,
per 30 days. 7.5% per 30-day interval. So every mining instance is 30 days. So if you were to do like per year, obviously 7.5 times 12 is 90%. Technically speaking, we're gonna break into right now. We're in halving 0. And we could talk about the halvings, whenever you want. But we're in halving 0, so we're going to get to halving 1 in about 6 months. So you're technically not going to actually ever earn 90% APY. You would more earn just 7.5% basically for the next 6 months. Yeah, per month for the next 6 months. So 7.5 times 6, whatever that number is.
Can I elaborate on that point? Because all too often, I think some of the breadcrumbers come into the voice chat that I'm in just about every day. And they're like, oh, I only have another 6 months at 7.5% yield. Well, let's just break it down. Yield is controlled by code. ROI is controlled by the community. And so while it is true that you get 7.5% yield paid monthly, in the form of Pulse Bitcoin for mining your ASIC tokens, the ROI on that is all dependent on, are they buying, holding, mining, and onboarding? And if they are, then you're going to achieve a multiple of that amount. Now, it is true the halvening event is looked upon by those that tend to know the least about the ecosystem. And they say, oh, my yield gets cut in half. But does it really? Because what happens in Bitcoin, every single halvening event ushers in the bull market. It's happened 3 times in the past. It will likely happen a 4th time. The question is, will it happen in this ecosystem, which is a virtual representation of that ecosystem? And furthermore, we have halvening events that will be somewhere in the 6 to 12 month range, whereas with Bitcoin, it's every 210,000 blocks, which works out to about a 4-year cycle. So what if we have halvening events ushering in bull markets where we're creating our own climate here, and it's every 6 to 12 months? That's good news. If we as a community hoard that store of value, what happens to the number? Because the inflation rate gets cut in half. So I don't look at it as the yield gets cut in half. I say the inflation rate of the underlying asset gets cut in half. And assuming that the demand has been built up by adoption and onboarding, then number shoots up to the right.
Yeah, that's that last, the little, the adoption and other human part is like, it's either siphoning US dollar from other assets, or which is like a direct competition, or you're adding new users. And if there's no new users, the only money that's coming in is from other assets, period.
Well, it's always going to be from another asset. It might just be from a legacy asset.
Well, you know what I mean, though? Like maybe ones that are closer to that type. The ones that like work the teams, if they're playing little teams, right? Like people like Hex, and then people like Pulse Dogecoin, and people like Hedron, right? At the end of the day, a lot of that money was all from Hex in the beginning, but that's just fair play. Like this is innovation. I think this is the cycle where like it's like the meme cycle, copy paste tokens. And then the next cycle of this, like the V2 version, is like software innovation with still like something that has that self-sustaining, maybe like first principles software loop in it, where it can stay stable even in the worst of times, or I mean, not stable, but not go to zero forever. And so it's interesting, this whole, what do you think about all this, Sam? Like, where do you think there's like some pieces here that are ringing any bells for you? Like, I want to know what you think about.
I really like the way Pepe put that in terms of yield or inflation is determined by code, but the ROI is determined by the actual audience, the people who are in the community, because you can earn 7.5% of something, right? But that doesn't, so say, for example, you have $100,000 worth of ASICs, right? So you're like, okay, 7.5%. Yield, but it's in the yield of a different token. So it doesn't necessarily mean 7.5% on your $100,000 USD value. It means you're getting 7.5% of additional tokens in this other thing. Now, how is that ROI, as Pepe put it, going to be determined? Is the value of that going to, are people selling that shit? Are people holding that shit? Are new people coming in to purchase that? That's going to determine your actual ROI, because if during a 30-day period of time, you get your tokens and you sell that shit, and you sell that shit, buy more, do whatever you want to do with it, right? Then the yield on your USD value, your ROI goes down. But on the other hand, if the community is bringing in new people, if the community is acting in a certain way where they're holding them or purchasing more of them in terms of bringing new money to the table, then your ROI could easily be 16%. It depends on what is going on in the community. I really like the way Pepe had actually put that together there. Wolverine, you were about to say something?
Yeah. Just to add to that, the 7.5% is based on the quantity of your ASIC tokens. The quantity, not the US dollar value.
So if I have 100 tokens, I get 7.5 PLSB?
Correct.
On a monthly basis.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's a great example. So that way people fully understand. Now, ASIC has its own US dollar value. Pulse Bitcoin has its own US dollar value. So what's awesome is that now you got like if you're one of the people that burned Pulse Doge for ASIC, for example, and started mining Pulse Bitcoin, now you have two assets that gain value. You have a money printer or a miner called ASIC. I like to call them money printers as well, just because that's what they do. They literally print Pulse Bitcoin, and both go up in value over time. So you have two amazing assets that exist in true DeFi in the highest and fastest appreciating asset class in human history. And it's just you interacting, as you guys have mentioned, it's just you interacting trustlessly with computer code. You're not reliant on BlockFi or Voyager or Celsius or any of these other like shitty like scams or FTX. You're not relying on these scumbags to give you yield. No, you interact with the code. You mine your own yield into existence, or you mine your own Pulse Bitcoin rewards. This has the same value proposition as Hex. Whether you stake Hex and you mint Hex back into existence, you mint your own Hex with the yield.
Dude, I cannot get over how horrible the gas fee is for the end stake structure of Hex. I can't get over it. It's like every time we talk about Hex, I'm like, imagine staking it with the. Sometimes I'm okay. I don't. That's a. It's
not that bad now, but even now, like
but 15 years, no.
I know. I ended, to give you an example, I had two Hex stakes, one that was started day 3 of the network and one that was started day 6. And I let them fully mature. So they're basically 3 years old. And I ended one on December, I think 3rd, and the other one on December 6th.
So 900 days of computations how much was that?
So I paid about $50 for each end stake, but that's during a bear market when Ethereum is not congested.
And so let's say Gwei was 13 when you did that. You probably caught it at a decent time if you were being smart about it. And so let's say it's 4 times that amount, $200, right? It's not crazy, but what do we see in a bear run? I mean, in the bull run, literally 5,000 or 400 Gwei. Like you can't even do anything. Imagine if Sam has his biggest stake coming out, his biggest stake. Sam's like, yeah, I waited. I did so damn. I waited on this one, man. That was a good chunk of money at the time. I'm proud of this one, right? And then Sam, it's the bull run, and Sam doesn't know anything. He's like, the bull run? What do you mean? I'm just going to end my stake. It's going to be good to go. And $700, $1,000, $2,000. And he's like, I don't have that much money in Ethereum. And then it turns into oh my God, what is this? What happened? Like, and I'm talking if he had no idea what was going on other than staking. Sam, what do you think? And I'm sorry, but I want to open that up more too, because I think that's in direct under this point is very important because it relates to why Hedron, why Pulse Bitcoin, why these things kind of exist sometimes, right? Because it changes some of the dynamics, and the gas fee is one of the things that is tough.
It's good. People are going to have to save up for some of these gas fees in the future, like for Hex, because that's 900 days. Okay, cool. Double that or out another, 0 to that. You're going to have to very expensive because there's so much computational data that's being stored on the blockchain, especially if you're doing it at the peak of a bull run. People are going to have to save up for these end stakes or raise money to like fucking pay off these end stakes. But let's stay on focus with this. Okay. So
in a perfect world, Pulse Chain fixes this. Let's just all pray to the
That's
Lord.
the whole purpose of Pulse Chain.
Pray to the Lord. Pray to the Lord.
Problem.
Yeah, just release the network, release the products, release it. It solves it, but release it. It doesn't solve it if it doesn't exist. Release it.
Yes. Okay. The last time we chatted, I didn't really see a good, from my point of view, I didn't really any reason to hold PLSB, right? Like if I have ASIC, I wouldn't see any reason to hold PLSB, right? I would stake that, and as soon as I got PLSB, dump that shit, buy more ASIC. If I was, if I was in that ecosystem, I was like, why would I ever hold this thing where I could just take this and put it over here instead and just yield more when there's no value there? And Pepe was like, oh, well, actually, there could be something coming out in several months where you could stake your PLSB, but we didn't have the details on that. So
still don't.
My quick piece is that they're trying to make a better Bitcoin, and like Bitcoin is kind of just a store of value. So like I understand it being like the pinnacle in that way. And then there should also be like a ratio between the two, which you could just have a nice V3 LP pair at some point. That would be tasty.
What's the thought process for both of you guys? So on each side, probably very similar. But what do you think, Pepe? We'll start with you. What's the top reason you believe for yourself to hold PLSB?
Well, it's obviously the premier store of value. At this point, its utility is just to hold and offset the inflation with these halvening periods. So if the community holds the asset and lets it appreciate, then happy days are here again. If a bunch of degen traders just wash through the system, then there's nothing you can do. But let's back up. What is really going on here in this ecosystem? I'm going to give 3 examples outside and then apply what I call disruptive innovation to this ecosystem to sort of tick and tie why it's important. If you go back to the horse and buggy, the last buggy whip manufacturer made the greatest buggy whip the world had ever seen. Yet in 13 years from the introduction of the automobile, the horse and buggy were just obsoleted. They were disruptively innovated. I'm going to use a more current example, though I'm a boomer, so indulge me here. But Blockbuster, you used to have to hop in your car, drive to get a VHS tape to watch a movie. Inevitably, it was sold out if it was a hot title, and you had to settle for something else. But then all of a sudden, Netflix came back and said, hey, we will mail these DVDs to your mailbox. And Blockbuster ran into a headwind. Then when Netflix innovatively disrupted their own business model by streaming, they effectively put Blockbuster out of business. That's an example of disruptive innovation, just like with the horse and buggy and the automobile. It took the automobile 13 years to flip completely the horse and buggy in a car. Then you take a look at the US Postal Service. In the 90s, all of a sudden email came out and disruptively innovated the postal service from being the primary way of mailing. And you had the ease of email. Take a look at what HexInfo is doing here. He came out with Pulse Dogecoin, which has disruptively innovated Dogecoin. Why? Dogecoin has a supply of 400 billion, inflating 10,000 tokens a minute of every hour, of every week, of every month, of every year, forever. And
we had 6 million tokens for Pulse Doge last time we talked. What do we got now?
Less than 3, because the innovation that HexInfo took, the utility he provided, was he said, you know what, you can take a Pulse Dogecoin and transform it into 5 ASIC. And so he gave additional utility. And when you do that, you burn your Pulse Dogecoin forever. So now we have about 2.8 million. There's another week or so to go with that added utility. But he is killing Dogecoin and SHIB and all these other meme tokens that inflate. Then you've got ASIC. ASIC mining rigs cost $1,500 to $15,000, and they solve complex mathematical equations. And if you're lucky, you get a blockchain reward paid in the form of Bitcoin. Well, that's great, except the small mom and pop guys, the guys with only a few ASICs, can't make any money because of the cost of electricity, not to mention the fact you're choking Mother Nature out. So HexInfo came up with the ASIC virtual token, mining token, which has disruptively innovated that whole nasty proof of work process. And he's come out with an ASIC token that you can put into the mines and extract value paid in the form of Pulse Bitcoin. So here's Pulse Bitcoin. How does it improve on Bitcoin? It improves upon Bitcoin simply because you don't have to pay $15,000 for an ASIC miner to generate it. You can mine it with one ASIC token. And the way the math works is if you had 100 ASIC tokens and you put them into the mines, after 30-day lockup, you're going to pull out 99.75 ASIC because of the burn and 7.5 Pulse Bitcoin. So you say, well, gee, What is the use case for Pulse Bitcoin at this juncture? Well, store of value is the use case. Seems as if it's worked out fairly well for the first part of Bitcoin, and it works out for others as well if the community hoards the asset. You're absolutely right. If the community is full of degen traders, then it wouldn't have a lot of value. But
I don't even think that's true. I think there's degen traders in Ethereum, certainly. There's degen traders in every token that's healthy has degen trading involved in it. But it's not. I want to know what Sam is thinking.
Well, one more point, Sam.
Okay, I just am curious about where he's at in because there's some parts here that are interesting with the technology differences between these things that are subtle.
One more disruptive innovation. With Pulse Bitcoin, you're paid every 30 days. Every 30 days. There's a 30-day lockup period. You can't get it out. So the last bit of disruptive innovation has to do with staking. I am certain you're aware of other staking protocols that pay you more the longer you go out, sometimes a decade or a decade and a half to get, quote, the best rate. Well, what happens if you disrupt that premise and say, we're going to pay you max rate up front, max rate. And then over time, that rate decays. It's the complete 180 flip reversal of typical staking mechanics. So if you get in early and you swim with the whales, and I'm certain that Wolverine can talk about what the whale thesis is and what their investment objectives are, you're getting paid the max right now, upfront, when it matters most. That's why we're up huge. Everyone else is literally just scooping up their own blood and tears in the streets, and we're scooping up giant green candles. We're up hundreds of % because of that disruptive innovation.
I'll hold you to saying I don't think that's why you're up whatever percentage you're up. Would just be because a certain amount of people bought it, and then there's a certain amount of money in the liquidity pool. And I don't know who those people are and what their intentions are. And that's always what I look at, right? And I'm just trying to open up. Obviously, you got to look at both sides of it. Like, you can't just look at one side. At the end of the day, I was skeptical about Pulse Dogecoin because of the price action. And because of, like, when it came out, I said, there's too much liquidity here. Someone's moving this. There's people that have invested interest in making this go up right now. I could tell that. And that does not mean something's not the best of the best. It just doesn't. It's just two separate conversations. Like, if I'm a billionaire and I want to buy some Pulse Dogecoin, that's good to go. You're good to go. But I also want to remember, like, valuation on these things is 100% about the liquidity pool and people ripping money out of it and into it. So just a bottom line, and sometimes some of the newer guys can get lost in the fantasy. I know you guys know the details, but the fantasies, you know how it is when you're emotional about some of these things. You can get a little lost in the sauce, of course, but still, I think there's technology here that is.
But Sam, all else being equal, would you rather be in an asset that takes 10 years to get the max rate or 30 days?
Oh, no, I definitely, I like the way that you put that, because there's, right, Hex does the longer pays better.
Well, I'm not even referring to Hex, right?
But Hex does the longer pays better and decreases the yield with more people involved, right? So Zen does something where you increase the yield as more people involved. PLSB and ASIC does it all front loading, and there's different the semantics of how they're all structured has an effect in some way, shape, or form. So I agree with you. There's something there. I don't know why if I were ever to, like, say, cool, this is interesting, I don't know why I would ever actually hold PLSB, though.
It would only be because you thought it was going to be one of the larger store values in the future.
Well, let's take a look at
and the halving, because when the rate changes that is work in the future, not of them, but like you could assume that there's going to be price volatility change in that moment. Therefore, there could be a reason to hold it.
Let's take a look at some facts. Terra Luna scam, but they paid 20% yield, right? Hex, not a scam. But
Well, scam is a word that we got to be tight on,
well,
because it's a scam if somebody's pretending something has real value and other people buy it, and then because it doesn't, or is that the rule book? Is it the rule book, or is it insolvency? Like, because insolvency would be you ran out of money.
they
But
had the
sometimes
wrong fundamentals, right? So the backing for Terra Luna wasn't sufficient. The more that's bought, the worse it got. So it had the reverse of what it should have had. But Hex, mid 30% yield, not a scam. Beautifully designed digital asset. And then you've got this asset paying a 90% yield during halving period 0 with a 30-day lockup, a series of 30-day lockups. You want to know why the number's pumping? It's like 250 something right now. It opened at $1. That's a 250% in less than 2 months. I think it's 52 days. Yeah, I mean, I don't have to look at every leaf to understand I'm looking at a tree. And you're looking at a massive oak tree.
I think also, Jim Rat, you were talking. I think you were alluding to like paper gains. Like, just because you have paper gains in your ETH wallet, it doesn't necessarily mean that you can extract that value right now.
I mean, it doesn't mean it's illegal either. It's not illegal to have paper gains. If the rule book says, Sam, if you have paper gains here, you can take 100x leverage on it. Sam's not doing illegal things. He's not scamming anyone, frankly. He's taking advantage, positively or negatively, of the rule book that's sitting right in front of him and how early we are in crypto. But yes, I think like a lot of people, like, let's say Gunther, for example, has 700 million hex, right? Wow, that's a lot. Let's say it's liquid. Wow, that's a lot. Like, that's a lot. That would be a good amount. He's not going to want to sell all that. Well, maybe a different asset. Maybe the Pulse Dogecoin actually in this ecosystem, a little bit less liquidity. Come on, Gunther, you can't sell 1,000 coins on the market.
Yeah.
Like all day long. Like, we all know that. Like, come on, that doesn't make sense. Oh, maybe once, of course. Whatever you want to do, you could do it.
Whales mostly care, to be honest. Whales in this ecosystem are all about the paper gains. we know full well that you can't just extract that value, but we're not looking to extract that value in that way right now at the inception of an asset. Because if there's one thing that whales have learned in this market, which got them to whale status, is that they learned that you have to buy and hold. You buy and hold, and that's it. You ask, why should I hold Pulse Bitcoin? Why should you hold anything in crypto? If you want to make any money, you have to hold it. You have to hold it for a long time.
Well, let me ask you this then. At what point as a whale do you make a whale move and switch from one asset to the other and start leaving one asset and entering another?
That's actually a great question. Let me give you an example. So before, we just had Pulse Dogecoin, right? We didn't have ASIC. We didn't have Pulse Bitcoin. We there was talks about staking. There was talks about like a new token, but none of it existed yet. And then HexInfo launched it. So then as whales, some of us were like, well, it doesn't make sense to market sell Pulse Doge because that only hurts the community and drives the price down. So what did we do? We burned Pulse Doge, either a percentage of our portfolio or we burned everything. As some whales just took different actions, but basically the same. Burned Pulse Doge. We got ASIC.
The elephant in the room is like, at what point do you think, as a whale, you get so many X's on one asset, you start taking? We all know you're in other assets. Let's just say Hedron, because you got it for free. That's a better one. So you got a bunch of Hedron for free, like probably a metric S load. Like a literal S, like probably more money than I've ever made in my life. Probably.
No, I don't think so. No, I don't.
What, like, come on, what'd you make, $1 million off of that? Come on.
875,000.
Over under $1 million.
875,000 when I sold close to the Hedron top.
And that was one candle?
It was like 1 2-hour candle. And that was it. It actually barely affected the chart, to be honest.
Well, we all
got blamed for the whole chart.
The Gunther Godwick. I just do it because it's hilarious.
But so how do you think about exiting? So, right, not necessarily the semantics of like, oh, you do range orders, etc., but like everybody's going to have a difference in there. But how are you thinking about this?
Yeah, it's a great question. I'll be honest with you, and you guys know me. I'm usually pretty transparent about actions that I take from my wallets, and I don't necessarily have to be, but I try to be. So
you kind of have to be because everyone knows your wallets.
Yeah.
So you do
Yeah.
have to be. Like,
they might. So sometimes I get credit for wallets that I don't actually own though. So that's a, so it's blockchain analysis actually.
those bubble chart blockchain things are pretty good, man. If people knew what I knew about their shit, it would be trouble.
Like for example, I could send money to 7 different whales, but I don't control the private keys to their wallets.
Of course.
But I might connect my wallet to their wallets to make other people think that I control them.
We call that where I'm from. Connection. No, but we only have a couple more minutes left, so we actually have to round out.
Oh wait, a couple minutes? Why don't we
I got like
anything.
Well, Sam, we gotta go. Well, Sam's gonna jump off when he's gotta jump off. So Sam, feel free to jump off.
Pull up the
tweet.
Tweet.
Yeah, let's pull up the tweet. We went on an hour tangent. Nice job with the ADD crew here. We're just gonna
man, you start talking to crypto nerds, man. We'll go off on.
Dude, it's so fun, bro. They're few and far between in the bear. You know, like in the bull, like there's a bunch of smart dudes that come out, but in the bear, it's like you gotta love.
Hey, pull up the other one. Pull up the other tweet first.
All right. Well, you gotta direct me through this. So what do we got?
Okay, click on just the one that says 10,000 Merry Christmas right below that. Yeah, click right that. Here. Yeah. So we can go through.
So guys, 10,000 Bitcoin lottery. Merry Christmas, Wolverine. Read the detail below to participate. Expires in 3 days, guys. I'm going to read this, but I'm dropping it below, guys. If you're not subscribed, if you're not following, hit the bell notifications over there. Do all this stuff so you can keep an eye on this because, guys, sometimes there's not that many people that do all these, and you can have an amazingly high probability if you with some elbow grease of making a good amount of money. Let's go, guys. Come on. So one lucky ETH address shall receive 10,000 Pulse Bitcoin as a free gift with no strings attached. I'm just going to read through this and you just stop me whenever you want.
Well, actually, right before that, it says expires in 3 days. I actually extended it to December 20th. So you have till the morning of December 20th, no specific time. But so I basically would have your submissions done by the 19th. Just submit them by the 19th. But so I'll close the window on December 20th, sometime in the morning.
And what? So you said submissions. Tell people what the submission is that they need to submit and where do they submit it.
Yeah. Well, okay. We could kind of go through the thread here a little bit.
All right. So one lucky winner shall receive 10,000 Pulse Bitcoin as a free gift with no strings attached. I and I alone shall select the winner. To increase your odds of winning, do the following: like, comment, quote, and retweet. Follow me, tag your friends, create a TikTok video about Pulse Bitcoin. So you're trying to get TikTok involved in this. That's cool because TikTok, we know a lot about TikTok and the scaling.
You don't have to do a TikTok video because I know a lot of people they don't like it because of China and all that stuff. It could be any platform. You could use Instagram or YouTube, and you could do a video. You could write an article. You could do memes. Anything,
so
any type of
something that packs the biggest punch: a video, a short, a YouTube short, a 30-second video, a couple-minute video, some sort of art, something to knock your socks off is what you're looking for, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, then, I could get a job here, man. Come on. Post your TikTok video in this thread. The most compelling video creator is likely to be the winner. Hey, I'm learning how to make videos. This could be a good way for me to learn too. Like try to make
Wolverine, what is it that you're looking for in videos? Like what is it that is, because you're picking, right? So you're the judge in who's going to get $25,000. And what is the metrics that you're kind of using, that framework to be like, that's the one I like, that's the one I like? Or where are you? I'm just like, oh, I'm just going to pick the one that stands out the most. And what are the essence of like the video you want them to get across? Like, hey, POSB, like what is it that you know, if you want to talk about that a little bit.
Originally, I was going to be the one to select the winner, but I actually might make it more of a community type of thing. Maybe
you should let me and Sam pick the winners.
I'm not.
We do non-bias. We do non-bias work.
I'm not sure just yet, but in terms of like if it'll like maybe I'll have like the final say maybe. But
hey, I have an idea for you. Why don't we pick the winner on a show and restream it to a bunch of stuff? Seriously though, like we'll do, like I don't care about you can do it however you want, but like I'll broadcast it if we can.
Yeah, we could definitely. I like the idea of announcing the winner on your stream if you want. That would be pretty epic, I think, because then we could do the transaction live so that people know that this is a legitimate giveaway. I've done giveaways in the past, so when it came to Pulse Dogecoin, I probably gave away about 20,000 Pulse Dogecoin. By the way, Pulse Doge is almost $10, so I basically gave away about $200,000 in the bear market for free to just different users.
Pretty fucking cool.
So this is yeah. So
That's pretty cool.
So
people
give people, because there's 200 people watching. So give
Yeah,
people,
so you got to get to the point. You got to get to
what
the
are some of
punchline.
the things that you want to see in these videos. What are
I
some
want
of the-
I want to see a good demonstration of the value proposition for Pulse Bitcoin. Things that are like viral, things that it doesn't have to be long, but it can be, because I've seen some videos that are like 10 minutes that really went through they started with Bitcoin and then wound up at Pulse Bitcoin. I think that's great. And I've also seen some shorter ones, 2 or 3 minutes, 30 seconds. I want to leave it open to the audience so that they can use their creative minds to wow us. And then once we have all this material, then everyone in this community now has all these marketing tools available to them to share, to spread the word. So I think it's a great way to help.
It can help you get across to some of my viewers. What he wants is wow factor, virality. Pretend like you're working for him, or like pretend like you have a job to market something, create something, whatever you're good at. Like some people are good at skits, some people are good at graphic design, some people are good at AI art. Create something that would blow his socks off and really create that virality. That's what he's looking for. He's looking for, it's not.
I'm looking
at the punch.
I'm looking for quality that Steve Jobs would look for, or that Elon Musk would look for. It's a high standard.
The first principles.
it's just I just have a very high standard. So I'm looking for things that really truly
giving
are.
away 10,000. That's
By the way, this is what you guys should know. There was an addendum to that, or a modification. If you guys can get me organically to 100,000 followers on Twitter, organic, not bots, and I will check for bots. 100,000 organic followers, real people, within 8 days, actually 7 days now because it's the 13th, then the reward goes from 10,000 to 25,000 Pulse Bitcoin.
I don't think that'll ever work, and I'm only saying that because just risk reward. As somebody who used to gamble a lot, the ratio of even winning that reward would be so small, and the amount of effort it would take to get your account to 100,000 subscribers would be literally a lot. Like, and I know that. Like, dude, I have 10K subs. I do this shit all day long, every day. I don't give away 200 grand though. But I'm saying, but I think I would like to strategize with you at another time about some ways to like effectively do that. But like, I just don't think, like, I think that it's only going to one person. So, they're not going to do stuff unless they actually think they can.
There's a bigger picture though. So there's a lot of people in our community that see way past this gift. They see past the 10,000 or the 25,000 Pulse Bitcoin. They see because of all the content that's being created and all of the engagement and all the marketing efforts, it's pumping the bags of everyone. And so there is a real underlying motivating factor to actually work hard to bring value to these assets.
You should find someone, send them money, get them to find me in real life, give me the money, never bring it up, ever. And then I will market for you nonstop 24/7.
It should be noted that no influencer, this is really important, no influencer or person in this community that markets these assets on Twitter or Telegram has ever received a single dollar from the founder or creator HexInfo. There's no paid promoters.
And
now,
some of us haven't gotten any of the juice from anyone. GRC wants some juice. HexInfo. I would love a conversation with him if anyone can set that up. Not on live stream, private.
Yeah. There is a comment that says it's not organic if it's a contest, and sure, I get it. It's a fair point. But I think you guys know what I mean. Like, by the way, if anyone attempts to purchase followers for me, instantly, it makes my offer null.
I'm telling you, we're getting too much into the weeds there. It's just we're wasting energy right now on things that just we don't need to waste energy on. You got to tell just people what you want and then let it fly. Let it fly. So I'll give you both just a couple more minutes each. Just pitch, just market, just tell me what you want and what you think, because this is clearly what you think the future is going to be like. So we don't have to worry about your take on it. I want to know what you want. I want to know what, if you got to be very direct and purposeful, or you're just going to flog around. So what is it? Let's get, you have one pitch left. We got to get guys doing this video. We got to get people getting ready for this contest, and I'll let you both go.
Hey, just pull up that last tweet. This is important. If you want to be considered for this 10,000 Pulse Bitcoin giveaway, not this one, but the one that you had prior to this. If you want to be considered for the 10,000 Pulse Bitcoin giveaway, the one at the top, you have to go to my profile page, follow me, and put your video or your content, your articles, your memes, your images, whatever you've created, it has to go in this thread. No commentary. No, I don't know if you heard my daughter in the background. She said,
GRC says, what's up?
Hey, so if you actually scroll down just slightly right below that, and click on that, yeah, right here. Avoid any commentary. I repeat, please avoid making any comments. Just publish your creative work and let the work do all of the talking. And that you might be disqualified if you make any comments in that thread.
I'll tell him. Let me say it more direct so they understand. Guys, there's a thread there. If you start typing a bunch of words and saying a bunch of baloney, he's going to make sure you don't win. So understand, if you are typing shit, I think it's fair that some people won't know. So just erase there'll be a couple of them, just erase them. But if he sees it flogged in, you're out. You're out. Crazy.
Don't paste
publish your art there, publish your work there, and you can make it so it's follow only, and just make it so like whatever. So that's the tweet though, guys. That is right here. Let me pull it up again. It's this tweet. I just dropped it below. Right. So here, I'm dropping it again. Don't paste any ETH address in. Don't beg for money. Don't say anything. Just post your material. Or he's going to block you. No, I won't block them. No, or do whatever. No, seriously, if you're posting ETH addresses, no, don't do that. That's nowadays, that's real dumb. Like, let's not be doing all that unless you're obviously doing the contest. That's different. But like, let's be sensible, guys. This is the next leg. We're the guys at the bottom of the bear market that are still here building, and these things are going to come to fruition or they're not. But just understand, you can get a lot of money doing some fun stuff and having a creative time. I think that's awesome. You know, I don't do paid promotions. I don't do affiliate marketing on my channel. Now, I'm not against affiliate marketing, by the way, not at all, really. But I don't do it on my channel just right now because I want to keep my brain just a little locked in. And I just like to do giveaways and I like airdrops, and I like telling people about free crypto and like really low ROI fun stuff to do if you're a new user. And I think this just perfectly fits into that category. And that's why that's why I wanted to do it. I was like, there's no harm, no foul. Decentralized, immutable. Guys, I know enough. I'm not stupid. Like, I know the metrics aren't hard. And I really do think some of this stuff is promising. And I think there's definitely problems. Not problems, like maybe not problems would be the wrong word. I think this risky, right? Risky. Brian Lopez, one of the best Hexkins, best dudes, best guys, one of the most solid dudes. Thank you so much, Ryan. Ryan truly is an awesome dude. And if he's doing something, I don't know what Ryan's doing with all this stuff. Frankly, I just know he's a nice guy. I've talked to him a couple of times.
Hey, Ryan's a legend. Ryan is mining Pulse Bitcoin. I can tell you that.
But I'll tell you what, whatever a guy like Ryan does, I would keep notes. That's all I got to say, because guys like him, they're smart. Then they're open-minded and they're free and they're non-biased and appreciate you very much. Sliding into all these assets early and just making a buttload and making the world a better place. That's Ryan Lopez. And so I want to let you go, Pepe, and then Sam, any closing words before we go? I think we could do this. We could talk more, but I am doing an hour show.
So the last time I was here, Pulse Dogecoin was about $4.30. It's now close to $10. If you would have taken your free claim, you'd be up an infinite amount. But let's just say that the launch price of $1, you're up what? Is that a 10x right now on that? ASIC launched at $1. It's now almost $2. So you could say it's up about 180%. Pulse Bitcoin came out at $1. It's now 250. That's 250%, 2.5x in 52 days. Why get into this asset? Because we do what we say we do, which is buy, hold, mine, and onboard. We're a community from breadcrumber to whale that it ain't selling cheap. If that's your fear of being dumped on by the early players, you're not being dumped on here because the greed of our community says we're going to hold out somewhere near the top of the bull market. So if you're looking for an asset that's got a pretty 2 to 3 year beautiful run in a bull, this is it. And I encourage you to go to pulsebitcoin.com and read the 25-page white paper. Pulsebitcoin.com.
I think I could do that. I could do that.
Wolverine, if these are videos, an idea that you can utilize that I'm going to be implementing in 2023, and I've already implemented on other platforms, but it increases the exposure and gets around like the advertising piece of things, is you can take all those videos, hire several people from Fiverr to create TikTok accounts, which is more of like a, they don't restrict reach as much as like the other platforms do, and get them all posted over there so that you actually get free exposure and you can get around the advertising piece of things. And then you could even have like somebody else creating additional content to funnel into this piece of like, okay, I've got 6 people, they all have 3 different TikTok accounts, and you can publish it across the board and just gain a tremendous amount of exposure that you
can we please do a meeting,
a
real meeting off air, me, Sam, you two, whoever you want. And I promise you, Sam's very good at working through some of these details, and he's really good with details, and I'm really good with just like thinking about creative stuff. And I would just love to talk to you guys. Frankly, I want to ask some questions, and not on live stream though. I would rather do it on a Telegram call or something like this, if you don't mind. I mean, I want to, if you get, and I don't want any money either. I just want to talk. I like this stuff, man. This is like what I like to do. I don't even own, like you guys know, I don't own any majority stake in any of this stuff, but I like technology. I really do think there's something with this DeFi stuff. I want to be the first guy to cover all these cool ass things. That's like my little shtick. And thank you so much, Life is Good, with the Pulse Bitcoin emblem. Thank you so much for the super chat. I really appreciate that. That's really awesome. You guys, you know, it's a bear market and it's tough for all of us. I don't care what anyone says. I don't go around telling everyone I'm rich because it's not true. It's just not my truth at this moment. I'm 28 years old. Like, I don't feel
like Life is Good. He's a legend. He was an old school Bitcoin miner, and now I'm mining Pulse Bitcoin.
Oh, hey, we know how that works. And I love the disruptive innovation like theme for the show. Absolutely incredible. I've been learning about the first principles. I've been studying Elon Musk as of the last few days. I've been getting really excited about some of these technology innovations, scaling, the future, as the Fed just ruins everything and just boils it all down to zero. It's things like this with the mutability in a community. It's like the cockroach with the nuclear war. It just doesn't kill the cockroach, but that's what you need in crypto. I don't even care if this shit dropped 90%. I wouldn't even look at it for a second. It would not bother me or faze me a minute as a holder. What would bother me is if there was some legislation that changed the game, right? Like that would be the only thing. But again, the internet always wins for real. I don't see what they're going to do about this shit. Anyway, guys, what an amazing live stream. Thanks everyone for being here. I didn't really plan on doing any of this. I got all the DMs and I just wanted to open it up and show, it's a Christmas time. I do my part too with the communities. I like to help. I do. I don't have all the money in the world, but I like to put in a little effort and a little elbow grease where I can, just for the boys. Like it's fun. It's fun to like do something.
Jim, right? One quick thought for people. Having zero, it ends in about 6 months. And I don't think people realize, but 50% of the Pulse Bitcoin supply is mined into existence during having zero. 50%, 10,500,000 tokens. It's the same exact math formula used for Bitcoin. So
So you're saying load up in 8 months?
Well, no, what I'm saying is that you need to buy ASIC today.
Oh,
you need to buy it now. You need to accumulate as many ASICs as possible and mine as much Pulse Bitcoin.
My bad. That just came out of my little like in the morning to yourself thoughts. Like, but no, I know what you're saying. I'm a weirdo. I just look at this, think about this stuff all day. We're talking about guys. We want adoption. We need users. We need people that don't know about crypto. They need to buy and hold. That's like one of the most critical fundamental aspects of anything. If you're not going to just be like tight ranging it and just like running the show, as we call it. I switched my location on Twitter to UniV3 tight range. So that's my new location. I've been staying there quite often. It's cold, but anyway, this has been amazing. I'm so happy to have done the show. I really appreciate the super chats. I appreciate your guys' time and being on time, and just like, I know it's not always easy to round it up for everyone, and I really appreciate that. Like, and I appreciate that you guys had amazing audio and that you are being very positive.
Thank you, Pepe and Wolverine, for both of you guys coming on. The last thing I would recommend you guys check out, if you're curious, Chat GPT is incredible. Like, you can use this for marketing in multiple different ways or research. Highly, highly, highly recommend. Also, anybody who's listening, check it out. Incredible. If you do any type of knowledge work, if basically you sit at a computer and do something or communicate with people, it's probably a value add in some way, shape, or form to what you're currently doing. It is a tool that has just come out in the last 2 weeks, already a daily in my workflow of what I do.
And it's the website is GBT, or is that the platform? Like, if I wanted to just start messing with this, what would you recommend to me? Like, for someone who's a little
sign up and start playing with it.
Okay, is there probably a million videos, right?
Probably, yeah. There's a ton of it's just a
thing that would be something for me to do a video on. Like, is it let's not get it. I first of all, Sam, I want you to know that I understand and I am learning all that stuff in the background. And when I get there, I'm going to start doing awesome shows and really bringing guys on that are going to make you happy, because a lot of me is just making sure Sam's happy, because it is his time too. And not so it's so I want to make sure he has value too. And, you know, this one was for the people, though. This one was for the Christmas. Okay, Christmas, guys. And real quick, before we go, last thing, and then right when he finishes this question, I'm going to say bye to you guys. So this dude literally gave me a super chat for like 70 days straight. Like, and he's a good friend of mine now. But like, can Wolverine please give us a quick cliff notes on what someone completely new to this ecosystem should do? I think it's a great question to close.
Yeah, great question. Buy Pulse Dogecoin, hold it. Buy ASIC, and use it as a miner to mine Pulse Bitcoin. PulseBitcoin.app. Just go to PulseBitcoin.com and bookmark it. Make sure, this is really, really important. Make sure you check the spelling of the URL. PulseBitcoin.com. If you go to a misspelled URL, you will end up losing a lot of money, right? Because there's phishing attacks out there. So please, pulsebitcoin.com, check the spelling, bookmark it. And when you're on pulsebitcoin.com, you just simply click this tab that says, this button that says start mining. And that takes you right to pulsebitcoin.app. And on the app, once you have ASIC tokens, you can just start a miner and you mine Pulse Bitcoin into existence. Now, I want to say this to the audience. You can buy Pulse Doge at USDC PLSD.com. You can buy ASIC at USDCASIC.com. You can buy Pulse Bitcoin at USDCPLSB.com. I purchased all three domains. The two of them route you right.
I love it.
Two of the last two, ASIC and Pulse Bitcoin, reroute to CalSwap. The first one, Pulse Doge, I bought it a while ago, just currently routes to Uniswap. But I think I'm going to change that to CalSwap, because with CalSwap is great, guys.
What does it get? Does it get you detached from that gas fee structure?
Well, it gives you MEVBot protection. And when you go to pay the gas fee, you don't pay in Ethereum, you pay in the token that you're swapping. So if you're swapping, for example, USDC for Pulse Bitcoin, it'll just keep some of your USDC, right, as payment for the fee. It gives you a better execution price. Sometimes when I've swapped, I actually get 3% more tokens.
No, I'm telling you guys, if you're not looking into these other options when you're swapping tokens more, rather than like liquidity providing is one thing. But when you're swapping tokens, if you're not looking at these options, sometimes you can swing 20, 50, 100, $30 just by looking at the better option. Period. End of story. I do it all day. Every trade I execute, the gas fee is under $2 or $3 because I will use the alternatives if I have to. Maybe you get a little different situation. Maybe it's a little more centralized. Maybe it's a little more something. All chain bridge is something I probably use 7,000 times, literally in the last month. And if the gas fee is like $3 and I can BNB and ETH all I want, frankly.
Hey, by the way, with the burn, so you know how users can buy Pulse Doge and burn it for ASIC? That ends in 7 days. This is really important, actually. In 7 days, these are just some closing thoughts. In 7 days, you will no longer be able to buy Pulse Doge and burn it for ASIC. You can buy Pulse Doge, you just can't burn it for ASIC. And what that means is in 7 days, the only way that you can get ASIC to be a miner in this system is if somebody is willing to sell it on the open market. But most miners are not willing to sell their tokens because they're using them to mine Pulse Bitcoin. So ASIC is extremely scarce and rare. Right now ASIC is trading at $1.96. The best possible price was $1. Pulse Bitcoin's at 261. In the near future, like ASIC's just going to go through the roof because it's the money printer, right? And in the future, if anything else is developed in this ecosystem, for example, Pulse Litecoin, then the token that would be used to mine Pulse Litecoin into existence would be ASIC. So it has possibly future use cases.
I want to see you guys clipping these important little notes out and doing shorts and doing everything. That was a good short right there. So if there's any big Pulse Doge guys, and I'm going to do it myself, but it takes me a little while. I'm new to the scene. But all you guys that are a little quicker with it, take some of Sam, Pepe's, and Gunther's points today. Make a short. Tag us. I don't care if you take credit. I hope you get 1 billion views and make $1 trillion on it. Frankly, I don't care. I don't have any copyright feelings. I don't accept any money. I'm just going on that for now. I mean, I do other stuff, obviously, like work stuff. But anyway, I'm done. This has been nothing but incredible.
Hey, as you go out, can you play this video? Can you play one video that a user created?
100,000%. And
okay, I'm posting it right now in the chat.
Copyrighted for that, though, I'm going to find him. I'm going to gut him like.
It's right in the private chat. Just click on that.
Gotcha. Pulling it up right now, and that's going to be our closer. So we're not going to see each other again after this, but I'm going to play it.
Full send.
Gents, I'll meet you at the top. Gotta go.
Hey,
See you, Pepe.
I'll meet you. You're already at the top, Pep. Get your ass out of here, you piece of crap. What are you even doing here? He made it like 30 years ago. He's just having a good time and dating 30-year-old chicks now. So let's get right into this. Oh, wow. This is a very cool video. Yeah. So Gunther, it was great to see you. I hope that I'll see you in the DMs. I'm going to play this 3-minute and 15-second video to close it. I want to see all your comments in the chat. We'll all be in the chat just for the next couple of minutes while the video is going on. Then I'm going to close it, guys. I'm not afraid to stream again today, period. Haha. Let's go. Hey, Gunther, thanks for coming on, man. I appreciate you.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me on. And
let bygones be by. We're investing. We all know it's cutthroat.
Wow. It's water under the bridge.
Dude, the future's going to be so bright. It's just too bright for even words. Yeah. Sam, I know Sam's on that wavelength too. Every day I'm like, Sam, it's so good. And he's like, dude, we haven't even started. And I'm like, dude. And he literally says that to me every day. Like, and I think he does that to like put that message in my head too. Like, as a friend, like, it's so early. We can't even use small.
You're gonna want to play this video from the beginning.
Good to see you guys. I'm gonna start it from the beginning, and I'm gonna jump out. Sam, great to see you. I'll call you later. And
see you guys.
Are you good? Everything good? We're good. We'll talk. Everyone, I'll see you later. Have an amazing day. I'll start it from the beginning. God bless America. And SBF's in prison now. Thank God. Hey, what a piece of crap scumbag, and I'm glad they took him. And guess what? Sometimes they sacrifice guys like that. When your soul runs out, they'll sacrifice you. Because why? Because you have nothing left to do. They'll put you in Gen Pop. They'll eat them alive. Maybe. I kind of feel bad for him now. Like, oh, man, now I feel bad for him. Christmas, peace out, bro. I'm going to play the video. I'm being a spaz now. I got all excited. Peace. All right, let me pull.
Newest build. $982 Got these custom rigs being built at 240, 232 mega hash. Got a lot more to go. See, as you can see, we're putting more together here. Here I am in 2018 setting up crypto mining facilities. I'm sure our clients make great profit if they held their coins. Fast forward a few years, Bitcoin mining is simply not profitable to continue. Over time, the difficulty increases. It's a huge waste of resources. Energy costs increase. It requires massive overhead with upkeep, and it's harmful to our environment. A much needed innovation has emerged, and it's called Pulse Bitcoin. It's faster, has a limited supply of 21 million coins, has better price appreciation, and it's DeFi compatible with Ethereum. It's proof of stake ASIC token mining that anyone can do from their phone or computer. A user can simply stake their ASIC tokens with just a few clicks of a mouse at pulsebitcoin.app. Stake your ASIC tokens for 30 days to yield Pulse Bitcoin. Unstake to claim your PLSB. You can then restake your ASIC to start another 30-day cycle. You can buy Pulse Bitcoin and ASIC using DeFi at CowSwap or your favorite DEX. Why is Pulse Bitcoin a true DeFi asset? Fair launch. Absolutely no special supply allocation. Supply begins at 0 and only becomes available 30 days after launch if participants start mining day 1. It's 100% transparent, open source smart contract. It has a code security audit completed by Certic. No unfair distribution. All Pulse Bitcoin must be mined fairly, defined by the smart contract. No sacrifice phase or ICO. No venture capital or special insider funding taken or received. No purchase tax, sell tax, reflection fees, referral program, or hidden penalties. It is not meant to be a financial security in any capacity. You must have no expectations of monetary gain or profit from this crypto project. If you do, it is by your own work and effort. Pulse Bitcoin has the fastest growing community as it leads the industry in adoption and support, teaching new users about security and providing the fundamentals for being a successful investor. Pulse Bitcoin will be the DeFi project of 2023. Follow host Sean on TikTok and Twitter for updates.
And if you're still in here, guys, make sure you follow me on Instagram and YouTube. I'm stepping it up a little bit. I gotta step it up. You gotta step it up. I gotta punch. Make sure you follow me, Jim Rat Crypto, on all. Also go to citmcast.com, and then you'll get on all the boys have channel. We stream on a couple channels, citmcast.com, Jim Rat Crypto, on Instagram and YouTube. I hope everyone has an amazing day. That was really nice. That was fun. I enjoyed that. And I'll probably be streaming later. The Fed keeps playing games, and we're going to be going Fed live. We'll talk about SBF going to prison and all that stuff. And I'll be, I misspelled the URL, citmcast.com. I don't know. Boss Move. Hey. Boss Moves only. You know we only do Boss Moves only. I'm so pumped. I want to stream more. I usually don't get pumped about streaming anymore, but today I'm pumped. I don't know why. And guys, oh wait, this is the last. Oh no, I was the first person to cover Zen Crypto. I double checked that. So anyone watching, if you want to triple check it, I go like, we're all going to the moon. It's gonna be nuts.
You already know what time it is. Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning. Waiting on phone. Crypto in the morning. 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 Waiting on phone. Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning. Smoking a blunt on my way to the gym. 11 a.m. and I'm already tuned in. Got me some hacks and I'm making a stay. Got me some heads on, I'm making it rain. Pay me some maxi and that's just in case. Jim Reddit sent me to show you the way.